Thank you for tuning in. We have a very exciting show this week, and we're glad you're here. When it comes to music, we have some of the best artists on our show. We have Derek Day and Dane Pieper of Classless Act. We got Joe Lynn Turner from Deep Purple, Julia Bentley of Night Goat, and Natalie Nootenboom. So we've got all kinds of great music artists, but that's not it. We also have from the world of television, Rudy Reyes. He is going to be in here talking about Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. So as always, thank you for tuning in, and we are excited to have you here. Good morning. This is James Lewis. We are excited to have our guests today, Derek Day and Dane Pieper from Classless Act. Derek, Dane, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us, sir. Yeah.
So, Derek, last time we had you on the show, we were talking all about welcome to the show. We were talking about the stadium tour. How was that stadium tour? Give us a couple highlights.
Oh man, the stadium tour was amazing. I mean, it's the summer of a young musician's dreams. I mean, not only were the bands super nice and professional and awesome, but the whole crew, like the people who built the sets and did the sound and the lights, were like really lovely teachers of ours. They're just like really cool people that, you know, showed us kindness and awesomeness. So it was a smooth tour, like, you know, no accidents on the road and just really cool venues and great little sightseeing and a really great way to connect with our fans. So that was the best part. We got to make some friends. So when we come back, we'll come back and see it. So, you know, pretty mind-blowing series of events for those 3 months for us. I would say that.
Excellent. It sounds like it was a remarkable experience all the way around. And of course, an important part of that stadium tour was Poison and their frontman, Bret Michaels. We had him on the show in January. I want to let you all know that he was very impressed by you guys, and he had nothing but positive things to say about you and your bright future.
That's so nice. He's the man.
That's incredible.
So, Dane, tell us about your follow-up EP, Welcome to the Acoustic Show. What was the inspiration behind it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I think, the inspiration kind of came from within ourselves. Yeah, so we poured a lot into making the songs onto the album Welcome to the Show, how they actually ended up. So we worked hard with the writing process and, you know, playing our butts off live on stage to really make those songs blossom. So on the same note, we really do believe that these songs are incredible, just like, you know, compositions of music, and even without big amps or big drum sound and whatnot. So we want to make everyone realize that the songs themselves are the power, and not in the hours of production. So what better way to show essentially a naked song than doing acoustic versions?
Excellent. Yeah, I was going to say, I love when bands do that. I think it really emphasizes the lyrics. It emphasizes a lot of aspects that sometimes get overlooked.
Yeah, you totally get it.
So, Derek, is there a connection between Moonage, Daydream, the documentary, and Classless Act recent double A-sided singles?
There is quite a connection there. I mean, we knew we saw that the Moonage documentary came out, and we love Bowie. Like we all love Bowie, and like who doesn't? You know, in any country. Yeah. So I mean, we're just like, we love that album. Dane has that out. I think that vinyl, right? That's the that's freaking Spiders from Mars, right?
Yeah. The guitar Spiders from Mars.
Yeah, you got that on your wall. I got that as well. We just love Bowie. So yeah, so we saw the documentary coming out. We're like, this is sick. Let's just honor. We like any chance people get to honor him. We just want to help do that. You know, just kind of do our own little thing to it. And again, it's just a way to kind of show people that, you know, we like some older style rock and roll as well as newer modern stuff. We just kind of want to keep doing stuff that's a little different. Like what Dane was saying with this acoustic EP, it's like a little different here, and now it's a little different there. And in a few months, you'll get something that's a little bit different as well. So that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It sounds like you all don't want to fall into a rut, and it sounds like you're always coming up with new and creative ways to express your music and your passion.
Absolutely. But we wanted to pay our tribute as well. He's the man. We wanted to pay our tribute to the guy. You know, he's the man. We love that guy.
So, Dane, how has Classless Act been influenced by David Bowie?
Yeah. So I think it goes without saying that, you know, David Bowie has had his influence virtually everybody. You know, most if not all of us grew up listening to David Bowie and really grew fascinated with how he made songs really come to life. You know, between his sense of style and forward thinking and his writing, each album like paints a whole world with winding paths that with each stop, you know, you can study and be enamored by his genius. As Derek was saying, you know, we all have our own favorites. So there's always been like this liking and fascination with him. And especially from the writing perspective, we really feel like his style transcends like what it means to write music. And it really is inspiring and makes us want to write something of that caliber. And it's that kind of fire and passion that David Bowie makes us feel that we'd love to make other people feel that, you know, listen to our music and kind of pass along that passion.
Derek, it appears that you have a lot of David Bowie influence in your fashion sense and your hard work and in your belief in yourself. In what other ways has David Bowie influenced you and the rest of the world?
Man, you know, I would say his chameleon-like longevity. He can really, like, some of my favorite material is Bowie from 2000. Well, his last album, Black Star, was amazing, 2016. But like some of my favorite stuff is like late 2000s and stuff, and like, you know, late 90s, the reality tour and all of that stuff. So that kind of ever constant growth is like, I think what every artist, but also what every human person should try to do. You know, to kind of keep moving with the times, but keep changing, and don't be afraid to fix yourself if you feel a little broken. And so he always had that aura about it. That's why he changed so much. You know, I think if some people might say, "Oh, he doesn't know who he wants to be," but I say quite the contrary. You have to know yourself really well to be able to move into different shades of light and light. So, but yeah, I would say overall he influenced everybody, like all the artists, how to just like keep freaking changing and keep creating something new. Because he was listening to like hip hop before he died, and he was just like trying to get on that boat too. So it's like, that's freaking awesome. So yeah, Bowie's he's ultimately timeless. With every album, every single he puts out, you hear it, you're like, damn, he's not even close to done yet. So cool.
Dane, people are saying that your music is creating a new generation of rock fan and giving previous generations still a reason to believe in rock. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, I think for me, in the most simple sense, it's very exciting. It's very exciting because when I was a kid, kind of growing up and like listening to, you know, all the greats, the Zeppelins and the Queens and all this stuff, it kind of rock music had this aura of like mystique to it. You know, you knew everyone in the band. Everyone had their own individual style, personality, and everyone brought like something to the table. There was this like icon, like status with all these like legends in all these bands, and so to kind of be a part of that kind of excitement and that aura, it's a big deal, and yeah, we take it with a lot of pride, and we just want to put out some high energy, fun rock and roll music, and kind of get people dancing and have a new kind of lens on what it means to be, you know, guitar driven bands with riffs and the dynamic singer want to have her own spin on that while having the fun of the people that came before us.
So Derek, how does it feel to carve out your own legacy while showing appreciation to the legends that have inspired you?
Oh man, that's deep. question. How does it feel to carve out my legacy to the in response to or by being inspired by these legends? You say?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, freaking. It kind of gives me that, that kind of, everyone in the band has such great work ethic, and so it's humbling, and we just want to make sure we're really staying on top of it, So always trying to push some kind of boundary, even if it's at a centimeter at a time or something, just trying to do something new, and kind of like how Bowie did, So, thanks to these amazing artists that we listen to, but we also work with, like, that's insane. Like, we got to work with some real players on this album and stuff. We got to going through with some real cats. And so, like, just having that around is actually more humbling than anything else. And we're just trying to, like, keep up. So, you'll expect a lot more cool stuff from us.
Excellent. Dane, congratulations on your recent graduation from USC with a degree in music business. Obviously, you definitely got a bright future in music. How much of the business aspect do you plan on using, and do you plan on focusing, on, endeavors that are not just doing the music, but being behind the music?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, I graduated in 2020, and it's really kind of just cool to see what I studied, the practical use of it, come in handy on a daily basis. And, it was about everything that was on the non-performance side. So it was like copyright, DIY marketing, general law, concert and festival logistics, management, etc. And granted, now, as you were saying, I am on the performance side, and like there are actually designated people that handled the business side. But it does bring me a little joy just to look over a contract or some details of a show and understand like a good chunk of it. And really, kind of being in school at USC felt like how it is in the band, just surrounded by some real talented people, and there's just this atmosphere of creativity that you get sucked up in.
Derek, David Bowie accelerated in many things. Any chance that we're going to see you as an actor in a Star Wars series, or as a chef on a celebrity cooking show, or something else fun and exciting?
Yeah, heck yeah. I want to be the first alien that, like, can play, like, shreds of guitar in Star Wars, man. No, I mean, well, I don't have that locked in or anything, but that's a great passion of mine is acting, and I like to put it into the stage. And so what I've been looking for around here is just local plays. I mean, I like the stage. So, and I've done a lot of acting throughout, community college and high school. So you see a little bit of that. Unfortunately, I'm not as good as a cook as I'd like to be. But no, I mean, I could cook up some lines, date it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was going to say that'd be fun, especially in Star Wars. I understand that it is a big passion of yours.
Yeah, it is. I'm like weirdly obsessed with it. I still am. I've been since I was a kid, and it hasn't left for some reason.
So, Dane, before we let you all go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about you?
Yes, sir. So on Instagram and TikTok, our name is just Classless Act, and on Twitter, it's Classless Act LA. You can find us for all our social media content, figuring out when we go on tour, and releasing new music.
Awesome. It has been a pleasure having you gentlemen on the show, and we look forward to bright things in your future.
Thank you very much for having us.
The Dreamhouse Nation loves it when we give out our email address, and that is dreamhousenation@gmail.com. That's dreamhousenation@gmail.com. Write in to win tickets. We are giving away some of the best tickets of the summer. We're giving away tickets to the Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio, May 25th through May 28th. Tool, Godsmack, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age, Kiss, Rob Zombie, Foo Fighters, the Deftones. It is going to be an amazing event. Write into dreamhousenation@gmail.com to be eligible to win tickets to this huge event. So definitely don't miss out. Sonic Temple, May 25th through the 28th, Columbus, Ohio. historic Crew Stadium. Right in. Enjoy. Our guest today is the iconic singer from Rainbow and Deep Purple. He is releasing his 11th solo album, Belly of the Beast. Our guest today is Joe Lynn Turner. Joe, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure, James. Thank you. And hi to everybody out there in Cincy Town.
Oh, we're excited about having you on. We want to know, is your new album, Belly of the Beast, based on the current state of totalitarianism?
Pretty much, yes, pretty much it is. Belly of the Beast is an old phrase right out of the Bible, as a matter of fact. And the beast, if anybody's interested, is the beast system. The beast system that we're all living in, which is educational, pharmaceutical, medical, governmental, religious. It goes on and on. All of these institutions. So when these institutions are turning on the giant populace of the world, this is what happens when you become in the belly of the beast system.
I understand a 50th birthday party is kind of what brought about this album, the connection with you and the iconic producer, Peter.
That would be Peter Tägtgren we're talking about.
Yes.
Peter, for all those who are not sure of his name, he is the originator of the bands Pain and Hypocrisy. And Peter and I knew each other, but not until I played a birthday party, a 50th birthday party for his brother, who was a big fan. Did we actually start talking about this? And it took us a couple of years to put it all together, but the pandemic actually afforded us the time to write and create and record it. So in many ways it was fortunate. I think a lot of guys have done that too. They used the time wisely and just tried to record. But Peter's an amazing instrumentalist, producer, performer, and an artist in his own right. And I'm very proud to have joined forces with him on this one. So we started out to make an industrial metal album. It's one foot in the hard rock, classic hard rock, where I come from, and another genre which he was in, which was basically industrial metal. So we wanted to make a melodic metal album, and I think we did that with Belly of the Beast.
I agree. It really feels like you've built a bridge between those two genres of music.
That's the absolute perfect word, a bridge. While we were doing this, we kept it in mind that we needed to continue this bridge. If we got too heavy, we pulled back. If we got too hard rock, we pulled back the other way. We always kept reminding ourselves that this is a bridge between the two genres. And the perfect word. Thanks, James.
Welcome. People are saying that, your music has changed, but I believe that it really hasn't changed because you've covered topics like this before. It's just you're more focused, it seems. Do you agree?
Absolutely on target. I have. Throughout my solo albums and career with either Deep Purple or Rainbow, I could name a slew of songs that was dealing with this topic. It's just that you're absolutely correct. I am more focused about it. This album, of course, I believe that art is a reflection of life, and the artist must look around and actually paint, sing, write what he sees, what's all around him. And that's how Belly of the Beast came out. But it's the same subjects, only more focused. No, you won't find that many love songs, because during the time that this was written and the reflection of reality, it was not very lovely. It was pretty dark times.
Exactly. I was going to say your music is more of a mirror onto society as opposed to, a filter.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Art is a mirror of reality. That's what it should be. We write and sing and paint what we see, and from the inside and from the outside. So it's not only intrinsic, but it's observational. And this is what was going on at the time. And I just tried to be as honest and sincere as I could. I really wanted to do something heads above what I had been doing, which is kind of just following the curve. In fact, I would urge more rockers to do this because originally rock and roll was about revolution and rebellion, independence and freedom. And nowadays it doesn't seem like we've got any rebels left. And I really urge my colleagues to get out there and start attacking this situation and this reality with everything they got, because the more we do that, the more awake the people will become. I mean, I'm a child of the 60s, so I went through these types of revolutions and anti-war and sexual revolution and you name it. So I'm all about that right now.
When and where do you...
I guess, James, somebody had to say it, and it had to be me.
Exactly. When and where do you plan on touring Belly of the Beast?
Well, we're going to try to get out maybe towards the beginning of the summer if we can. Of course, I'll probably start in Europe if it's all possible. And then, of course, I want to get over to the States. So we just have to plan that out. Situation willing, we'll have to see what's happening as far as the restrictions and health and current reality. The world seems to be quite messy right now. So we'll have to roll with that. But we're trying to get out there to bring this music and message out to the people. Awesome.
Any chance you're going to get Peter up on stage?
We talked about it, He's got two bands working at this time. He doesn't work with Phil Lindemann anymore from Rammstein, but he's still got his two bands, and he's still producing. So if he can get out for a week or so, we're going to drag him on stage and just have a riot, man, because he's brilliant. But we hope so. We hope we can.
After having a heart attack a few years ago, you've adopted a healthier lifestyle and changed a lot of things by eating healthier, exercising more, and drinking less. Has that contributed to your longevity as an artist?
I think so. I mean, I really believe if you take care of yourself, especially in your later years, it's very important, so you're able to play and sing and perform. And I feel renewed, actually. The heart attack is a wake-up call. I'm sure you've heard all of that before. But it certainly is. It certainly wakes you up to realize that what's important in life. And again, part of this Belly of the Beast album was to make this artistic statement about what is concerning humanity right now. You feel an intense purpose. And I think that's another thing that overcame me. And I still have the ability, at least, to sing and to write and to perform. And I do think living a healthier life. Look, I'm no teetotaler, but I keep everything in very much moderation now, whereas before I didn't. And the moderation really gives you some longevity and good feeling. And I'm probably in better health now than I was before the heart attack.
Well, that's good to hear. So, Joe, it has been a pleasure having you as a guest on our show. Before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find out more about you and Belly of the Beast?
Well, I know the music's on iTunes and Spotify, of course, and it's on my page is JLT. You can look that up. It's pretty easy. And, of course, Mascot Records. You can always just mascotrecords.com, and you can get autographed copies. Right now, we got a beautiful pearl version of vinyl, which is gorgeous. And, of course, we have CDs, and you can always get it streaming. So it's Belly of the Beast, and I hope everybody gives it a listen, and you give it a couple of spins, and you get some boners on it. Excellent. I'd like to thank everybody out there for their love and support that they've been giving me. Cincinnati was an old stomping ground of mine, and I had a lot of good times there. So I wish you all the best. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Joe. Have a good one.
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival is back at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, with the Foo Fighters, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Kiss, Plus, Rob Zombie, Deftones, Queens of the Stone Age, Godsmack, and more. Memorial Day weekend. Passes are on sale now at SonicTempleFestival.com for only $10 down.
Good morning. Our guest today is the lead vocalist, Julia Bentley. She is from Night Goat. We'll be discussing their upcoming LP, Totem, and focusing on their new single, Ghost Sickness. Julia, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here. Good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Night Goat.
Night Goat is a band of 4 people. It's me, Julia Bentley, my husband, Chris Bentley, bassist Dane Jones, and drummer Tommy Dalo. Tommy's actually my cousin, and Chris is my husband. And we're from Canton, Ohio.
Nice. So it's definitely a family band.
Sort of, kind of, not really, but it's a place to put things.
Nice. So how did it all get started? What originally inspired you to create Night Goat?
It's actually my husband asked me to join a band with him. I'd never really been in a band, much more than a background vocalist. So we just kind of gave it a shot during a real dark time in our life. Kind of gave me an outlet that I never tried before. And it kind of worked to put things there.
So what's the music scene like in Northern Ohio?
There's a lot of metal. There's a lot of indie rock. There's a lot of noise rock. There's a lot of doomy stuff. Pretty good scene, I would say. We just opened a record store, and I'd say the scene supports it. So,
oh, well, that's always a good thing. Yeah. So when you say record store, you mean you actually sell records?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's pretty neat.
Juju Bones.
Nice. So you mentioned the other members of the band. You have some connections to them, you know, husband and cousin. What about the one that's not related?
He might as well be a brother. My husband's been in bands with them for the last 20 years. His other band, The Most Beautiful Losers, they've had a pretty good run of years and made a lot of fans over the years, and Dalen stayed friends with Chris. I'd say we're all pretty close.
Nice. That is awesome. Now, why do people say that your music is not for the weak at heart?
It's brutally honest. Might hit some things that aren't talked about so much in a horrific type way, like a horror way, I suppose. Not really mainstream lingo that we use in everyday life. I suppose it's describing pretty horrible things.
So it's more blunt or in your face or bold, you would say?
Yes, and live, you have to see the show live too. It's full of energy. Kind of, I don't know. It's not me in everyday life, that's for sure. Not on the outside anyhow.
So what inspired you to base Totem on Native American lore?
We all have ties and heritage, Native American heritage in us. It was more about the rituals that each tribe seemed to all practice one way or another in some shape or form. So Chris had an idea for a concept album on it to kind of celebrate that.
So when is that new album, Totem, coming out?
It is due on St. Patty's Day, March 17th.
Oh, nice.
And it's available at Black Donut Records now at blackdonutbandcamp.com.
Oh, cool.
/album.
Sweet. So you can kind of get it ahead of time, it sounds like, by being able to get it now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
People are saying that Totem is Night Goat's deadliest album so far. Is that fair to say?
I would say it's fair to say, because it definitely was recorded in a different process and way, for sure. So it's full of surprises. It's brutally stripped down at some parts, and also carefully taken care of and mastering at other parts. It truly is different than the first album, but it's not any less lethal by any means.
How great was it working with Jeremy James?
For me, he's really the only person that I've ever been comfortable around, to kind of let loose and actually get to this spot that we're in now with Night Goat. Like, he's very, very comfortable to work with, and he'll meet you like where you're at, which is a rare thing, I think.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of times our listeners, they overlook the importance of an engineer and they just focus on the people in the band, but it's amazing how many other people contribute to the art that you all put together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think all of us, like, just together make some kind of energy that ended up being this album.
How does the song Ghost Sickness deal with the trauma from the past?
Well, Ghost Sickness is about ghosts and Native American lore, and when looking into all of that, they all have stories about ghosts or evil spirits that linger, and I just kind of thought about it, and from, I don't know, my perspective, dealing with PTSD, it's like ghosts from your past that kind of just come out of nowhere and harass you and bother you and get in your way of everyday life, kind of like a ghost would.
Oh, wow. So were you in the military?
No. It's from other types of trauma that I've gone through in my life. Major family trauma, terrible, terrible things that I would hope nobody would ever have to go through.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Chris Bentley's artwork for Totem?
Chris Bentley's artwork is fantastic. He's pretty much an artist on any platform he touches. It's beautiful. It's awesome. It's like him sketching, but on, the computer. It's beautiful. It's purple and magenta, my favorite colors, and evil as hell. You can kind of get lost looking in it.
Speaking of evil, do evil spirits affect and impact people's lives?
I can think that kind of goes along with whether or not you can identify with the whole ghosts with PTSD, and kind of like if you keep experiencing bad luck over and over again, like look at the patterns of your life. Maybe, you're walking alongside an evil spirit, maybe walk a different way and see what happens. Yeah, I think they do.
So where's the best place to listen to Night Goat?
It's on all platforms right now. It's available on all platforms. It's available on Bandcamp at Night Goat 13. Spotify, I believe it's the same. Night Goat 13 and Linktree / Night Goat. You can find everything, Facebook and all that stuff too.
Nice. Now, you mentioned the record store. What was its name again?
Juju Bones. It's directly across from our music venue.
Nice. And then do you all take online orders, or is it just in store?
Just in store for now. I just opened up last week, so we're waiting for our liquor license to transfer at our music venue, Buzzbin, which is across the street in Kenmore, on Kenmore Boulevard in Akron.
And then, of course, since you sell records, are you going to have any of the 300 Ghostly Grape transparent purple vinyl?
Absolutely. Night Goat is intertwined with the music venue and the record store. So I basically work here all day, every day. So when it's available, I'll definitely have it here. We have the other one here along with a couple of tributes as well that we're on.
Awesome. Now you mentioned about touring earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any dates for Ohio, Kentucky, or Indiana currently?
I don't have specific dates. I know that they're all going to be hit. And I know the tour is the 13th through the 30th. And as information becomes available, it'll be on all the platforms as well. So keep checking in.
Excellent. So what was that social media and website again?
Linktree/Night Goat. You can find all platforms. But Bandcamp is nightgoat13, bandcamp.com. And it's also on Spotify. I believe it's Night Goat 13 as well.
Awesome. Well, Julia, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival is back at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, with the Foo Fighters, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Kiss, plus Rob Zombie, Deftones, Queens of the Stone Age, Godsmack, and more. Memorial Day weekend. Passes are on sale now at sonictemplefestival.com for only $10 down.
Good morning. James Lewis here. We are excited about our guest, Natalie Nootenboom. She is a multi-threat. She is a musician, a model, and just an all-around great entertainer. We're excited about having her as a guest on the show. We will be discussing her reimagination of Guns N' Roses' Rocket Queen. Natalie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, when did you first get your taste, your desire for the spotlight?
When I was about 6 years old, I would say since I was 6 years old, I would perform in my parents' basement to Lady Gaga, and they would film me, and I would just dance, and I would put on sunglasses, and I was just a really wild child. And I feel like ever since then, I've always been a performer. As I've grown older, it's like channeled more into my music, modeling, and acting.
Awesome. So in other words, you've had a passion for it your entire life, but you've been able to take that passion and be able to focus in different directions.
Exactly.
Nice. So what inspired you musically?
I would say right now what's really inspiring my album that I'm working on is just really fantasizing. I'm in my head a lot, so I love to fantasize about different things. I love reading romance stories and fan fiction. And also, of course, other music. I love listening to other music and drawing inspiration from all the different sounds and and then putting it into my little creative blender and creating something new with it.
That is awesome. People describe you as being bold, sexy, wild, and shockingly original. How does that make you feel?
Amazing. I mean, to me, that's what, a rocket queen is. And so to be described like that really feels very validating. And it means that people see the vision that I wish to create with the song.
So how does Rocket Queen empower women?
I think we all have a Rocket Queen in us. It's basically that shameless, fearless, and expressive version of ourselves that we tap into when we create art. To me, Rocket Queen encourages us to step out of what we think we should be and instead indulge in the art of playfulness.
Nice. So how often do you get an opportunity to do that?
Pretty frequently. Like when I'm in the studio, I really I challenge myself to get out of my own head a little bit, and just be fearless and sing about things that, maybe I shied away from in the past and feels great.
So for fun, a lot of times we'll take words to a song and we'll change them up and, try to be creative. I understand that you did that with your friends, and you originally recorded a version of the song Rocket Queen, but it was even more intense and out there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so on the night of my 22nd birthday party, I drove out to like this lookout point in my neighborhood with my two friends. And then we recorded a bunch of voice memos on my phone of us basically moaning. And I did like the lower moans. And then one of my friends did like the higher pitched ones. And then my friend tried to do like the middle range. So it was kind of like soprano, alto, and tenor. And it sounded like just super messy. And to me, whenever I listened back to it, it just sounded like a caricature of female pleasure rather it being the real thing. So I decided not to release that version since it didn't really match the energy of the track.
Exactly. I was going to say, it sounds like it was a unique experience unto itself and wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does making covers teach you to be more original?
Well, first, when you're doing a cover, you start off by copying the original song. It's like kind of, at least for me, that's what happens is I try to emulate the singer and then I realize I can't. And then that's when the real creation begins. Because you realize you have to be different or else what's the point of recreating or making a cover if you can't put your own unique spin on it? So it forces you to step out of the world that was built within that song already and use that world to create your own with it. And it's been really interesting. That's kind of what happened when I did the last two covers I released is I was kind of forced to find my own voice by trying not to emulate actuals.
Exactly. You get into the music and you start feeling it and you start thinking, hey, this is how he did it. But of course you have to do your own thing. And it sounds like, obviously trying to emulate him would be quite a challenge.
Definitely. And it would be boring, because like everyone's heard that take, everyone's tried to emulate Axl, but if you do something unique to you, then that's different. That's interesting.
So is this the one that, because I had heard about one of him and someone were in a room and recorded the sounds and those were authentic sounds?
Yeah. So he had Adriana Smith in the studio and basically they were going at it and it was completely all natural, the real deal. And, they put that in the song. And that's kind of what me and my friends were trying to do with the dirty version. But, obviously we weren't doing anything. It was just us being funny and moaning into the phone, which was more satire.
Exactly. But, you were doing it more tongue in cheek.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cause with that, I mean, gosh, to have the actual experience, versus, like you said, you can tell, emotionally, you're not going to have the same responses. So it'd be hard to fake that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then I understand that she at the time was dating one of his band members.
Yes. Steven Adler.
Ooh, yeah. I was going to say that still baffles me that ever got released, that, someone didn't come in and put the kibosh on that, but it's a great song, and definitely you have a great version of that song, so I'm glad that they didn't. How do you make hard rock music more female-driven?
Well, I think that there's a lot of gatekeeping and lack of open-mindedness and, the rock genre and also the metal genre. And, women really had to fight just to get their foot in the door and be taken seriously. And so, I'm hoping that as rock music evolves, the fan base will too. And so the only way I could think of doing that is just keep pushing the envelope and keep, shattering those stereotypes and, giving something new to the audience. And hopefully that over time they'll see, oh, this is an evolution and, they'll get on board with it.
So it seems like we need more of the female artists at the different festivals and things like that to get their names out there, to get their presence felt, and to get the fans on board. Like, have you ever done one of the DW promotions events, like Louder Than Life or not Hometown Rising, but Louder Than Life or Sonic Tempo or anything like that?
Not yet. I'm looking forward to it. Right now, I'm just creating the music and working on what the show will look like and building all that.
Awesome. So it's in the preliminary phases, but there's definitely a lot of big things ahead, it sounds like.
Definitely. I'm very excited for the world to see what I've been working on.
What is the best way to shatter those stereotypes that unfortunately seem to limit people?
I would say embody the very opposite of them, prove them wrong. Let your existence be a rebellion, Let your uniqueness shine through your greatness.
It feels fans have flocked to you because your authenticity, your self-expression, your embracing of diversity, just how you truly represent yourself and owning being unique. Do you agree?
Yes. And if I want to be known for anything, it's that. If I could encourage anything, it would be that.
I've never understood the term plus size model because in my opinion, you're either a model or not a model. What is your opinion or what is your take on adding the phrase plus size to that?
I mean, over time, I hope that, we won't be categorized, but I can understand from a marketing perspective why they do it. But basically a plus size model is any model above a size 6 is considered plus. And, I think with time that will hopefully not be a thing. I hope that, at least with my agency, they didn't put me on a board, meaning they didn't put me on the plus size board and then have the smaller size models on another board. They just put us all on the same board. And I've always loved that about them because they're very progressive in that way.
Definitely. And I mean, I can even kind of see the term with, with a higher number, but why does it start at 6? That seems rather low because that seems like, shoot either a normal size or maybe even still a little bit on the smaller side. Well,
yeah, unfortunately, the market, the sizing and everything doesn't really accurately reflect the consumer. So the average consumer is around a size 10 or 12, but that's considered plus in America. And yet, most of the models are a size 6 and below, the ones that are not plus.
Yeah.
So it's a very weird system. And so that's what's been happening with the body positivity community recently is that we're just trying to say, hey, we're not plus, we're just, the average size, and we all come in different shapes and sizes. And this is pretty normal. If we're looking at, the people that are buying the clothes, it's quite, everyone's considered plus size. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. Cause that's the part that confused me. Cause I'm like, heck, if 6, which is the cutoff or the number that they pre-assigned, it's half the number of what the norm is. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, shoot. So yeah, I've never understood that, but it sounds like it's not supposed to be understood. It's kind of to try to control people. It sounds like.
Yeah, quite a little bit. Yeah, especially in the 90s, with the modeling industry, that was the opposite of where we are now, which is everyone has to be skinny, and all the models were skinny. And so there was not really a lot of representation for the consumer to relate to the model. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
So what are some of your favorite companies to model for?
Well, I work a lot with Gap, American Eagle. Those are my fam. I love them. I love working with them. I love Maybelline. I've done quite a few different brands. I really enjoyed working with Amazon Luxury with my sister. Victoria's Secret, I did that campaign with my mom. That was really fun. Urban Outfitters is fun. So many. My favorite campaign recently, I did Lee Jeans, and they know I love snakes, so they brought a huge snake on set for me to play with, which was really fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds like some definitely some unique experiences there.
Yeah.
And modeling with your mom. That
was fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, shoot, I understand a lot of times you have someone there on set to support you, but wow, to have her be a part of the modeling process, that must have been just made it even more fun.
Yeah, because she used to be a commercial model in the 90s. Modeling is definitely in my family with like my aunt and my mom. My grandma did a little bit of it. My sister's also a model. So it was really great to have her on set. And that was for the Mother's Day campaign.
Nice. So it's a bit of a family tradition.
Yes.
Awesome. So it sounds like there's all kinds of great things going on with you. Obviously, the main thing our listeners need to take away is they need to check out Rocket Queen. But I'm sure that along with Rocket Queen, you probably have an album coming out in the future. What's that?
Yeah, so I'm working on an album right now. Of course, I'm going to do kind of the thing where, you know, you release a bunch of singles and lead up to it and stuff. But it's going to be really great, and it's going to have a lot of themes about, you know, being queer and, you know, shattering those stereotypes like we talked about. And I'm just really excited to bring something new to the rock genre and break some doors down.
That is awesome. So before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners follow you?
I'm mainly on Instagram right now. It's at Natalie Nootenboom. You can follow me there. I'm pretty active on there. And of course, YouTube. You can look me up at Natalie Nootenboom as well.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us today, Natalie.
Thank you for having me.
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival is back at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, with the Foo Fighters, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Kiss, plus Rob Zombie, Deftones, Queens of the Stone Age, Godsmack, and more. Memorial Day weekend. Passes are on sale now at sonictemplefestival.com for only $10 down.
So joining us today, our guest is Rudy Reyes. He is the directing staff agent of Special Forces World's Toughest Test on Fox. Obviously, our fans know about the World's Toughest Test. We had Billy on a couple weeks ago. So tell us about your partnership with Billy.
Oh, I'm the oldest brother, you know, and my brothers and I grew up in the Omaha Home Boys and throughout Texas and the Midwest, and one home or another. Billy is the older brother I've always wanted, and he is a man steeped in experience who I respect immensely, and he's got the best sense of humor ever. A one-liner for everything.
Nice. And then with the World's Toughest Test, or Special Forces World's Toughest Test, I understand you have 4 contestants remaining for the final show. Tell us about that.
Well, the cream rises to the top, baby. The cream rises to the top, and it's not the biggest dog in the fight. It's the recruit that has the biggest fight inside the dog. You're tested in every way. You're tested mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And over time, it's those that possess the willingness to compartmentalize their pain and fear or a higher goal, to be something more than they ever thought was possible. Those are the people that make it to the end. And I think the audience is going to be really, really moved with this last episode coming this Wednesday.
Yeah, I had my money on the gymnast, so I was wrong on that. I thought she was going to be the one to win it all. And then you mentioned it's not the size of the dog.
It's dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was so physically fit, and she came up through the Russian system. However, she did not possess the warrior mindset of fight. She must have it all for her.
But yeah, you mentioned about the size of the dog in the fight. Dwight Howard definitely is probably the biggest dog there, I would think.
Yeah, he's a big boy, but he's been challenged. He hasn't passed every freaking test. He has not passed every freaking evolution. He has been challenged, and you can see he's moving around pretty slow. His feet are pretty busted up. Yeah, everybody gets challenged in different ways. All recruits in the end have to face themselves, most importantly. And it's not the muscles on your shoulders, your legs, it's the muscle between your ears that's most important.
Excellent. So what should we expect from that season finale?
Well, it's going to be unlike anything anyone's ever seen on TV. We're going to test them in a authentic way that we must all go through in the special operations, special forces community. We will have to survive, stay, resistant, and escape. And interrogation, POW training is some of the most difficult stuff we go through. And they're going to be pushed to their limits.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, the show we're excited about, Special Forces World's Toughest Test. I want to say March 2nd. Is that when it airs?
Let's see here. It is. That would be March 1st, I believe. Wednesday, my man.
You're right. Wednesday, March 1st. So we would have been a day late and $1 short. For those fans that would have been a day late and $1 short, where's the best place to watch it? Is it on like Hulu or something like that else afterwards?
Yes, you can. If you missed it on the 1st, you can catch it on Hulu the following day. And if you need to get set up on the episode, get on Hulu and you can check it there.
That is awesome. I was going to say, unfortunately, we don't have much time to go into it, but I'm excited about your other project, Force Blue. I think that is quite fascinating.
Oh, brother, that is the mission that brought me back to life, that brought me out of the darkness of depression and PTSD. By rebuilding coral reefs and doing ocean conservation with other commandos like myself, we have a purpose, a great purpose, again, to use our military skills. Instead of being weapons of mass destruction, we are weapons of mass construction.
Mm-hmm. So, Rudy, before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can we find about you, Force Blue, and, of course, the world's toughest test?
Yes, you can check out my website, rudyreyes.com. My Instagram is real Rudy Reyes, Real Rudy Reyes, and check out online, Google Special Forces Box, and it'll give you all the details. Force Blue is on my website. You can get involved, donate, and come out and volunteer to our next project. It's really easy to find me these days, and I've got a great business team around me and an agent too. So you guys can find me out there.
Sounds great. It's been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Cincinnati people.
The Dreamhouse Nation loves it when we give out our email address, and that is dreamhousenation@gmail.com. That's dreamhousenation@gmail.com. Write in to win tickets. We are giving away some of the best tickets of the summer. We're giving away tickets to the Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio, May 25th through May 28th. Tool, Godsmack, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age, Kiss, Rob Zombie, Foo Fighters, the Deftones. It is going to be an amazing event. Write into dreamhousenation@gmail.com to be eligible to win tickets to this huge event. So definitely don't miss out. Sonic Temple, May 25th through the 28th, Columbus, Ohio, historic Crew Stadium. Write in. Enjoy.